I get to where I need to go and that I have the necessary tools to get me where I need. Remember, at the end of the day, a firefighter cannot do his job without the proper tools, right? No different than a police officer, no different than a teacher. Then why is it that we are not utilizing all the necessary tools that we have here to make our job easier, simplistic? Common sense, folks. It's very common sense. So looking at the big picture, I want you to really tell yourself this story. How does that look? How do you show up? Practice, practice, practice. The more you practice, the better you get at it. The more you do, okay, the better you're going to get at it. Remember what I said earlier. Time is not money, in my opinion. The less I do, the more I make. Have that mentality. The less I do, the more I make. Can you imagine if you tell yourself that as an affirmation every morning before you even get up? You're in bed, you open your eyes. The less I do, the more I make. The less I do, the more I make. Imagine that. That's the first thing. And your significant other looks at you as like, are you crazy? Yeah, I'm a little crazy. But today is the day that I'm going to make something happen. Today is the day that I'm going to, touch a buyer, touch a seller. Today's the day that I'm going to get that listing. Today's the day that I'm going to close that deal. Psych yourself. The most successful people on this planet do affirmation, folks. Okay, so start practicing those positions and abilities. Okay, it's awesome what we do. Now, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. The wheel has already been invented. You don't have to go and learn any new systems. It's there. We got this. Just follow the roadmap of success. Gary Keller, the owner and creator of Keller Williams, didn't get to the level where he's at now from not listening to successful people. He scaled his position to be the #1 real estate company in the entire world. And I could say that with sincerity. We are the #1 real estate company, the most in agents, the most in educational platforms. And we don't teach you to be a salesperson. We teach you to be a CEO. Do you want to be a CEO? Okay. That's your own destiny. That's your own ability. You have what it takes, folks. I believe in you. The question is, do you believe in yourself? Think about it. Do you believe in yourself? And if the answer is yes, you're halfway there. Because some of the challenge is just believing in yourself. That's it. The rest is downhill. 90% of the people fail because they don't believe in themselves and they stop. They stop. Okay. Are you a quitter or are you a doer? I know what I am. The question is, what are you? And either is perfectly fine. Okay. I'm not going to take it in any bad shape or way. Okay. But I know that you guys are all champions. You guys are rock stars. You guys is what makes my day to come into the office, to do something, to be someone, and to pour into you. Gosh, I wish I had 1,000 people on this call right now. I want this training room to be filled with, motivated buyers, motivated sellers, but more so motivated agents in here. Because now I can say, here, Hope, this is a seller that wants to sell. Lewis, here's a buyer that wants to buy. Okay, but unfortunately, as I mentioned earlier, I don't have that magic pill or one on my scale. Okay, I hope this is kind of helping you just to kind of think a little bit. Okay, I want you to resonate. What I say is, that all of you have the potential, the ability, and the desire if you choose to. What did I said earlier? Get up, dress up, show up. Get up, dress up, and show up. That's half the battle.
Simon.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you. Thank you for being here with us. Okay.
My pleasure.
I always have phenomenal conversations with great people like yourself. So thank you again for committing and hanging out with us for a few minutes here. But again, some of the cool stuff of being an entrepreneur is you set the destiny and what that looks like. Okay. You want to make it, you can make it big. You don't want to make it big, that's okay. Maybe you have short-term goals that you just want to do and you're fine with it because you put in, 30, 40 years of service and this is now a second career. Okay. And there's a lot of people that do this. This is my second career. My first career was something totally different. Now it's this, and I'm blessed and I'm enjoying it every single day. Do I have my challenges? I say, yeah. Do I have my walls? Absolutely. But I don't let that stop me. Okay. That's what sets me apart. I'll go the distance, toe to toe, and tell you that I'll succeed at this. I might get beat up. I may get stumbled. I may be pushed down, but guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to dust myself. I'm going to get up and I'm going to continue pushing forward. The question here is, are you in that position to do so? Are you have that destiny and the ability to do so? And I think you do. Okay. I really, really, really think you do. One of the things from the Millionaire Real Estate book, there's an agent by the name of Gary Albaldini. And he was able to do in his fifth year in real estate, 5 years of getting his real estate license. And 5 years later, he was able to do about 28 million in value. 28 million in value. Okay. What does that really show? If I do the arithmetic on this, right? 28 million, and let's just say it's at 2.5%. That's almost $250,000 in gross commission income. How much would that change your trajectory? If you had money coming in, think about it. What if you close all those transactions and now your bank account is full of money? You have almost $1 million in your bank account. All your debt has been already wiped out because you were able to pay for all that. This guy is a $28 million producer. And as I mentioned, he just did about seven and a half million. A lot of money. And there's agents that do even more. Now, can I promise and can I guarantee that's going to happen to you? No. I can tell you, and I can wish upon you that, yes, you got this. You can do $250,000. You can do 7-figure income. But the honest truth is, I cannot guarantee that's going to happen. There's a lot of challenge and obstacles and a lot of leverage that you need to do. But what if you hit the jackpot, right? And you happen to pick up a listing that's 27 million. Bingo bango, is there $27 million property here in the Southern California? Heck yeah, go to Beverly Hills, go to Brentwood. There's 40 million. One deal can get you $1 million. What am I doing? I'm trying to inspire you, okay? You got to think big. You have to have big dreams. This is why I love real estate. I'm going to give you an example of what I try to negotiate. And unfortunately, it didn't go through as planned, but that's okay. I found a 4-unit apartment complex out in MREA, Riverside County. I saw it on Sunday, and all the numbers are great. It's about 74,000 of rental income coming in, 8,000 in expenses. Your net gross is about 64,000. And then I was thinking the pros and cons. This was a $1.2 million property for sale. It's a 4-unit apartment complex. If you know the city of Marietta, it's out in the Riverside off the 15 going south into San Diego.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I looked at it and I was analyzing the income and expenses, and I thought, man, this is a great property. Even though I think it was a little on the high side cap rate, it was a little on the low side, but it had potential. They're all completely renovated. They all are 2 bedrooms, 2 bath. They're all similar. They all have garage, washer hookups. They had a nice backyard on the bottom floor units, and then the upstairs units had a balcony space. Beautiful place. And I says, well, you know what? I'm going to think creatively. I'm going to see if we can do what's called seller financing. Okay. Does anyone know what seller financing is? Okay. If you don't know, that's your homework assignment. Read up on it, seller financing, or what we better known as the seller carrying a note. And I thought, okay, if I can utilize seller financing and I can utilize some of the income, because if you start buying investment properties, you can use a percentage of the income towards qualifying for the loan. So 70% of the income that comes in will ultimately be a percentage that you can use to qualify for the loan. Okay. I want you to start thinking a little different in how you can start investing in real estate. And, you know, I started in the mid 90s, and we would use creative financing, carry backs, meaning that the seller will carry a note, you know, amortized for 30, payable in a balloon payment in 5 years with a interest rate of 4% or interest only. Okay, we still had the first deed of trust, and then we had a second deed of trust that the seller would carry. But in order to buy beautiful homes, beautiful investment properties, we would utilize and leverage ourselves so that way we can make this work. Now, I'm going to give you a little trick. It doesn't happen all the time, but it's no difference than prospecting. Every time you go on a prospecting call, do you pick up and they say, yes, I want to sell and list with you? No, right? You got to continuously do more and more and more, right? You're going to get more no's before you get a yes, right? Well, it's real estate investment is the same thing. I love the property. I like the location. I like the school system there, and I'm still going to buy something out there. But when I saw this 4-unit apartment complex hit all the bells and whistles, I said, well, you know what? I'm going to take a jab at it and see if I can make it work. So this is what I proposed to the listing agent. And I said, hey, one of the things that I want to do is the seller willing to carry a note? Carry a note. Okay. And he says, well, you know what? I don't know, but I can ask. I says, well, he goes, well, what are you proposing? And again, I didn't do any drafting of the purchase agreement. I just threw it out on a text message. That's all I did. I said, this is what I'm proposing. Okay. If the seller is willing to carry a 35% a deed of trust, a second deed of trust. Okay. I'm willing to offer the 1.2 million on the property. So let's do the math on this just to kind of show you an example of what I'm trying to say. Anyone have a calculator?
I'm using my
No, no one has a calculator. Are you realtors? You must not be realtors.
I have one in my phone.
All right, do me a favor. Go ahead and type in 1.2 million. Let me know when you're there.
Oh, sorry, mute. I'm there. Sorry.
Okay, so now times that by 35%.
One second. 35% is 420,000.
Okay, so 420,000. Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm telling the seller is, hey, Mr. Seller, are you willing to carry a $420,000? Now, I did my research on the property. He bought it for $500,000 about 8 years ago. Okay, and then he put 20,000 back then, and ultimately, you know, throughout the tenant's paying, he's probably down to maybe 300,000. So let's just say the arithmetic, 300,000, 1.2 million. Okay, that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that's about $900,000 of the spread that he would make at close of escrow, paying off the mortgages, paying off the commissions. You know, he's looking at about 900,000, maybe 875. Let's just throw that, right? So 400,000, either he would have to do a 1031, so he doesn't pay capital gain taxes because he's going to be hit with capital gain taxes. So what I propose to him is, look, let me go ahead and acquire this property. I'll get a first deed of trust. Okay, the first deed of trust would be based on that 35. So what I'm saying to my bank is that the seller will give me 35% down payment. I'm asking the seller to help me qualify for this. I'm using what's called creative financing. So the proposal was that I would, take two loans, the first deed of trust and the second deed of trust. And the second deed of trust would be the seller generating monthly income with interest. And whatever interest we negotiate is the interest that he'll get. He is not really losing money because ultimately he has a loan attached to the property. There's no way of hiding. I cannot hide from it. There'll be a lien and I will not be able to transfer title. I will not be able to refinance the property. So I propose, do a carryback of 35%, and I'll get a first deed of trust of the remaining balance. So the remaining balance of that is, Yeah, can you just close the door for me? Thank you, guys. So 420, right? So 1.2, 1, 2, 3, subtract 420, 1, 2, 3. I would get a loan balance of 780,000. That would be the first deed of trust. That will probably be like a 3.25%, 30-year fix, okay? That right there is probably, I don't know, $4,600 per month, okay? Principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. Then the 420 will be amortized for 30 years, but with the balloon payment at 5 years, okay? That'll be the second. So he will have a lien against the property for 420. After 5 years, I have two options. The option one is to refinance that loan and incorporate one loan together, okay? One loan together. Or I can sell the property and hope that I have enough equity and value to pay off the first and the second and still make a little bit of profit from the sale of the units. That would be option two. Option three would be worst case scenario. If there's no value or I cannot refinance, then ultimately I will see if I can get an extension for another 3 years to pay him off. Because what I'm doing is on the first deed of trust, who is paying the mortgage payment? Is it Simon? Or is it the 4 unit tenants that are paying my rental? Remember what I said earlier? 72,000 is the income. 72,000 is the income. So if I do the arithmetic on 72,000, you divide that by 12, that's about $6,000 of income. 6,000 total income. You with me with this, right? You get where I'm going with it.
That's your cash flow, right?
No, that's the income. That is not cash flow. We're not even there, Louis, with the cash flow.
Oh, okay, sorry.
A simple concept, and then we're gonna end.
Okay.
4:30. So the $6,000 is the income that generates from the rental incomes from all 4 units. Okay. Now I said that the first deed of trust was what? 4,500, right? 4,500. So if we subtract, the 6,000, the 6,000, and we subtract the 4,500. 6,000, 6,000, subtract 4,500, that leaves me with $1,500 left, right? $1,500 left. Now let's just say that, some of the costs to manage that property is, sustaining business per se. Okay, that means paying the water, paying, a portion of the electricity, property manager, the gardener, any wear and tear on the property. Let's say that that's another, I don't know, another $800 a month. So that leaves me with $700 left, $700 left, okay? Now I still have to pay the second, right? Because this is already this is already basically taking a lot of the revenue from, the cost of doing business, and then ultimately the first deed of trust. And then the second is that $400,000. Okay, so that $400,000 or 450, whatever that amount was, let's just say, we come to an agreement that we'll do 420 at 1% interest. And the seller agrees to do a 1%. Because remember, at the end of the day, regardless, 5 years is not going to make a dent on this loan. He is going to get pretty much as close to that amount in the future. We're just offsetting that amount now and paying them in the future, but he's also getting monthly income from it. You all with me on this? Okay. So let's say that we come to an agreement and that amount boils to $500. That includes principal, interest, and some taxes and insurance. So that means that you're only left with $200. $200. That's your positive cash flow. $200. Okay. My question to you, is that a good investment? If after all the expenses, paying the first, paying the second, taking care of all the obligations to run the property, you only get $200. My question to you, is this a great investment or not? How many say yes? How many say no? How many say I
yes.
don't know?
I don't know, $200 a month cash flow?
Yeah, 200 times 12, that's $2,400 a year.
I may be wrong. I think it is. So tell me why it's not. You say that I'm being able to pay many house obligations, and still I have that on my hands. So is that bad?
Well, I'm asking you this question, folks, okay? Is it a good investment or is it a bad investment?
Good. It's a good one.
Who
I think
said
it's
a
good,
one?
right?
Hope.
Okay.
It
Hope,
seems
thank you.
kind of low to me.
Okay.
Well, you're not using any of your money at all, and you're just getting $200 to do nothing.
You just hit it. Absolutely, 100%. You hit the jackpot. You are not risking any money, ladies and gentlemen. You went in this with no down payment. You didn't put 400,000 of your money. There's no risk. Think about this for a minute, folks.
Oh, it is good.
It's a wonderful thing. Yes.
Oh, thank you. So at least I'm.
Yes, it's a great investment. Even if I make $50, that's $50 that I'm
Exactly.
richer. And I own asset. I own an apartment.
Okay, Simon, I understand what you're saying. Sorry to interrupt you. The total $200, I understand. I think it's low for me to do all that trick that you're doing. I think you have way more experience than I do. But what I believe in what you're saying, yes, I will use that asset to do another deal. That I think it will be my point of view. The $200, yes, but I think if I oversee the business, how you have the experience, I will close another deal after that one. I will give me maybe the credit, or maybe to say, hey, I have an asset that will help me to do another business. I see that. Yeah. The $200, I think is a good business, but it's too low for me. But you know what you're doing,
that, Louis. Like I said, there's no right and no wrong answer to this. I see it as a very lucrative position. One, I didn't go in with no money down. None. It's not my money. I
agree. I agree with that.
Hold on one second. I leveraged the property and I had the seller give me the 20 or 35% in order for me to qualify for the first deed of trust. Okay. When you look at the bigger picture, you're looking at two variables here. One, future rental increase. Two, future rental appreciation. Three, future rental of price or balance of your mortgage. Every month that you pay, a principal gets reduced of the loans. That's the first deed of trust and also the second deed of trust. So you are building 3 platforms in the near future while your tenants are paying the mortgages. The tenants are paying it, not you. You're making $200. Who else is giving you right now $200? I would use that $200 and start an account, and that $200 would stay in this account to do any type of repairs. You're missing the bigger picture, and I know that some of you will probably not risk it because you don't understand the dynamics, and maybe it's a little technical, but I see it as a win. And the reason I see it as a win is because I leveraged everyone. I leveraged the seller, I leveraged the bank, I went in there, and on top of it, it's even sweeter because I'm submitting the offer, you're still getting a 2.5%, 3% commission, right? From the sale on that, I'm still gonna collect my commission. What do you think I'm gonna pay with that commission? My closing cost. So I'm going in there with no money of my own. And I own.
No, I think it's wonderful. I really like it.
You're buying yourself an apartment complex, folks, that in the future is gonna be worth more money. The rental income, that's gonna be something that you can retire Social Security. Now, the cool thing is that all 4 units right now are making about $1,500. One is $1,550, one is $1,575, one is $1,500, and one is like $1,495. Okay, but you imagine 10 years from now, those are about 2,000 each. That's 246. Okay, $6,000 that you're generating of rental income. Yeah, let me see, 246. No, 2468. I'm sorry, $8,000 rental income.
And everything else remained the same as far as the monthly
Everything
payment.
remains the same. There you go. Yeah.
You're building equity too.
You're building equity. You're building balance, paying the balance off, and you're increasing the rental income. Folks, if you don't see the big picture, this is again why it's important to understand the dynamics of why you got to stay motivated in this industry. There's so many opportunities that I can show you. Unfortunately, the seller decided not to go in that direction. He wants to cash out, and that's fine. I'm okay with it. I pitched it.
May I ask you,
Yeah.
Simon, may I ask something?
Yes.
How you did, I'm trying to understand what you did. I think what you did is very advanced. Now, how you can tell the seller to help you with the first loan? I got lost there. I mean, he's selling and he's gonna help you. What is his profit in that? I got lost in that.
Okay, that's a very good question. So I probably missed, I probably missed the beginning. How does he make money, right? Where is his portion? Well,
Exactly.
where he's gonna make money on it, it's on when I close the deal, okay? Because remember, I said that he has a balance of 300,000, right? Remember I said he had a balance of 300,000, okay?
Yes.
And I'm getting a loan for 780,000. 780,000. So the first deed of trust of that loan that I'm getting, the first deed of trust of 780, I'm going to go 780 and I'm going to subtract 300,000. At close of escrow, he's going to get a check for 480,000.
Okay, I get it.
He's going to get at close of escrow 480, and then the remainder of that 420 will be monthly payments spread out in 5 years, and then in 5 years, whatever the balance is in 5 years, he will cash out. I would have to refinance and cash him out. Then that'll be another, I don't know, another 400,000 when I refinance the property. So his 400 and the 400 that he got from the beginning when I closed this deal, he's going to get all his money back. I'm just utilizing creative ways of leveraging and using other people's money to buy property. And that's what I do.
What he wanted at the end, he wanted cash?
He wanted
All this money.
He wanted the entire money. He wanted to close and get that 800,000 up front. So, okay. I mean, it works for some, and some people don't need the money. They have other investments and they're generating income. This one, he can say, well, yeah, you know what? I don't have to do a 1031 exchange. I'll have money coming in just like rental income for 5 years. Why
Mhm.
wouldn't you do that? I would do
Plus
it
interest.
with interest. Yeah, with interest.
Passive income.
Yeah, positive
Now,
income. Yes, ma'am. That is correct.
do you know how was the I don't know if I can see, but how you said for units? So do you have the records that it was basically every month was rent or a lease? I'm saying
yeah.
is
On the
it was all the time because
on the MLS, it tells you what are all the rental incomes that are coming in. It'll tell you unit 1, unit 2, unit 3, unit 4. This is
there
the
were four.
rental income, and this is the pro forma, like what we can rent it if the units were completely vacant. I mean, I did a little bit of research. It's not, something that it just immediately, I had to do calculations too, Louis. But it was still,
Okay.
even though, and this is what I was just trying to kind of test everyone on the call, is the $200 a good investment or not? Some of you probably say, no, $200 is big of a risk. Okay, and that's okay. Maybe some of you wouldn't take the risk. On the other hand, I think it's a great investment. I went in with no money of my own, none, nada, zero, snitch, nothing. Okay, and I was able to acquire an investment property that it's mine, it's my baby. But I leverage the power of what we call opium, other people money. It's the lender and also the seller to leverage just to give us the down payment in order for us to qualify for it. And on top of that, one of the things that I failed to tell you is that 70% of the first deed of trust, the rental income will qualify you to be able to buy that property. Okay, that's 780. So in essence, you see where I'm going with this? Yeah, it's a little bit advanced, Louis, and I didn't want to confuse you, but I also wanted to kind of give you the power of why we do what we do. You got to be a great agent in order to bring the income to be able to buy investment properties. That was it. Okay. So with that being said, I went over my time. I apologize, but I hope this was a great conversation. Okay, that's all it is. Conversations.
It was. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you, Louis, and thank you to the rest of you for listening to me spill my spill my beans here. But again, thank you very, very much. I appreciate you all, and I'll see you on the next call. All right.
Thank you, Simon.
All right.
Thank you, Simon.
Thanks, Simon. Good evening, everyone.
All right. Good evening to you as well. Bye-bye now.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Ciao.
Ciao.